We are excited about the elaboration room.
I am excited about this.
Welcome to the Elaboration Room with Reverend Yo and Reverend Harris.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us again in the Elaboration Room with two sisters of one. We are coming tonight. First, let me say we thank you for being faithful viewers of the Elaboration Room with the two sisters of one. We thank you for watching us weekly as we come to you with what we believe that God has given us to bring forth for you. So tonight, we are going to be talking about, what is it called? Examining free will.
Yes.
So tonight, that is where we're going with you tonight. We hope you stay tuned in totally, and we hope you give us some feedback in the end. Always remember, if you have something for us, put it in the comments below, because you never know, your topic may be a discussion in the elaboration room. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to my sister, and she's going to kick us off tonight.
All right, free will, free will. Do we have it? The ability to act at one's own discretion. Do we have free will today? In this current time, I don't know, because think about this. Every day we are being influenced through TV and through our phones and just Googling things, our computers, commercials. And for those who are easily led, their will gets taken captive in less than a minute. Wow. Is this you? Ask yourself, how many products do we have in our homes that was purchased because someone told us our life would be made easier, time would be saved, this is the way to go, you need this or you need that, and so on. Children are led by parents' fears, preferences, likes, dislikes, and desires. Free will? Does that child have free will? I don't know. We are influenced by our environments. Where's our free will? If someone is a follower, where is their own discretion?
Wow.
I'll ask you, sis, do you think we have free will?
Well, God has given us free will. He gives us free will, the right to choose. So I would say, yes, we have free will.
Yes.
Because he's given us free will because we can choose right from wrong. We can choose what we want to buy, what we don't want to buy, what we want to do, what we don't want to do. We have free will, but how do we use that free will?
And you're right. Yeah, I agree with you. In a sense, we do have free will when we truly know ourselves and we are truly moving according to that knowledge instead of joining the crowd, the latest fad, or trying to be with the in group.
And that can be, that I wouldn't really call free will. I would call that letting someone lead you into something maybe you don't want to do, but you're doing it because everybody else is doing it.
So doesn't that take away your free will?
Yeah, because you've allowed somebody else to control your thoughts. You've allowed someone else to control what you want to do, where you want to go, and what you want to say. So your free will has now been taken away by someone else because now actually you're controlled over the desires of someone else, or you're allowing someone else's desires to lead you, which they have taken control over you. Because now people are beginning to speak for you. It was a saying years ago, keeping up with the Joneses. So you're out here trying to keep up with society and people, knowing that's not where you are. So to me, you have lost your free will because you've given your control to someone else.
And that's what I'm saying about commercialism. And now commercialism is hitting you on your cell phone, not just TV, but it's hitting us on our cell phones. How many times I was told, I have an online business on Etsy, and I was told that a person needs to see something 7 times and then they'll buy it. So if I run a post or an ad that many times, multiple times, I'm taking away your free will because I am getting into your head.
That you have to have it.
That you have to have it.
But
now,
I didn't look at the cup I wanted 7 times. I seen it one time. I was like, "Ooh, I want that with my name on it."
Well, thank you, sis. Thank you so much. And that's so funny. I carry my cup around with me. I carry it around with me everywhere I go. And people see it and see it and see it. And then they purchase it. So am I taking away their free will? Now, you brought up something in the beginning. You talked about knowing right and wrong and crime and those behaviors. That discretion, I believe we do have free will through, because we know in our hearts what's right and what's wrong as far as crime and all of that, things that would hurt someone. We have that discernment of right and wrong. We just have to move in a way that our spirit talks to us, you know?
Yeah, but most times, well, not most, but most times, many times, and it's probably almost all the time, when we're looking at free will, people have free will to do as they choose to do, because it is a voluntarily act. So they can volunteer, or they voluntarily decide, I want to do this or I want to do that. And then it's their free will to do. And sometimes they do it eagerly, and sometimes they do it with thought. Like you said, somebody said that it has to be 7 times. So if you done looked at it 7 times, you done thought about it, or for some reason, these phones, I think they track our every move, because sometimes I think about something, all of a sudden it pops up, on something that I'm searching, but that's a whole nother show.
That's right. Big Brother's always watching. We should do that one, because that is such another show. Big Brother's always watching.
But to me, we still have that choice, and that choice is determined by what we choose to do. So whether we do it voluntarily or someone has enticed us to do it, if you're enticed to do it, you've lost your free will. If you voluntarily do it, you kind of still lost your free will, because if you wouldn't, I'll put it like this, if you never would have seen it, you never would have wanted it. So if I've never would have seen your cup, I never probably would have wanted that cup. If I've never seen an ad about something and I was like, oh yeah, I want to see, oh, I want that, then to me, things have actually taken control, because it's something, I can't remember, I have to remember where I read that or saw that, but it always talks about things that we see. And when we see something, we get attracted to it, whether we want it or not. But once we see something, and then we do that compulsion of buying, or we got to have it. So to me, when you see something and you get that feeling, you've now lost your free will. You've lost control, because now you got to have it. Instead of saying, oh, I don't need that, or I don't need that. So we fall into that temptation, is what I'm going to call it. We fall into that temptation trap of, I got to have it.
That's right. And I'm going to say, I am this many years old. I like that saying. I am this many years old. I don't know how many of the people who are watching us remember Flip Wilson. He had a show so many years ago, and he would do things influenced by others, and he would say, the devil made me do it. The devil made me do it. And that's what I'm saying, that when we see these things and when we are influenced by our environments and those things being fed into us, I believe that is taking away your free will. Yes, you can say, no, you don't want it. But right now, everyone wants a life that is easy, quick, standing in front of the microwave, yelling, hurry up.
Hurry up.
Hurry up.
Hurry up.
So if it's being fed to us that this is going to make your life better and this is going to make your life easier, it's feeding into our mind. It's not something that we went out and said, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I need.
Mm-hmm.
But you're being told this is what you need. Get it?
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's
a trap of the mind. And when we allow things to control us like that, we lose focus on what is actually important. I believe I'm looking it up right now because I believe it is. I believe it's Psalm 119 and 37, where it talks about asking God to remove our eyes from looking at worthless things. And I believe it's Psalm 119, and it is verse.
Well, while you're looking that up, spiritually, biblically, we are led towards choosing salvation, choosing life, with death being sin.
Yeah, there it is. It says in Psalm 119 and 37, it says, asking God to turn my eyes from looking at worthless things and give me life in your ways. That's what it says. Turn my eyes away from looking. Well, in the King James, what is this one? This is King James. King James Version says, turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity and quicken thou me in thy ways. So the Bible even tells us that we should turn our eyes away from looking at worthless things, because then we get stuck with a bunch of stuff that we don't need, or doing a bunch of things we don't want to do, because we've allowed, like you said, we've allowed society to trap us into this. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. I want it. I want it. I want it. I need it. I need it. I need it. And then we find ourselves with all these things which have no definition to us, because the Bible also tells us to not store away things and store up things for the moth to come in and eat it. So we still have to be careful of all the things we're trying to get. I'm gonna say it like the Bible says it. Instead of trying to get everything that's materialism, that's not Bible, but this is. You need to be trying to get things that are beneficial to our health, beneficial to our mind, beneficial to our souls, which the Bible tells us.
Say that last part again. You froze, which the Bible says.
The Bible tells us that we should get understanding. Instead of trying to get all this other stuff,
right,
we need to get understanding.
Right. There's that saying, the one who dies with the most toys wins. Yeah, no.
You ain't taking them with you.
You can't take them with you.
I ain't going with you.
And a comedian, I saw a comedian, and the comedian said, King Tut tried that and it didn't work. They digging him up and taking his stuff.
He
couldn't take it with
you.
No. Galatians 5, the chapter 5, the 13th verse says, you, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. And that's gathering up those material things. Rather, serve one another humbly in love.
Mm-hmm.
For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one command, and that is to love your neighbor as yourself.
That's it.
So you have to know yourself. Know yourself, and then move in that.
Because we're called to be free. And that's what we're called to be free, but we put ourselves in bondage by trying to get and trying to do. But see, instead, and that verse is also saying that we're using our freedom to satisfy our flesh.
That's right.
And that's what's happening, because we're so busy trying to get for ourselves. And in looking at society, we have a hunger problem, we have a homeless problem, we have a mental health problem. And those are 3 top keys that we should be doing to take care of our brothers and sisters, love on them, serve them, help them. The Bible tells us that we should take care the widowed and the sick and the homeless. What the Bible, the word says, when you did what you've done for the least of them, you've done for me. He doesn't say, go out there and get everything you need.
And try to make your life easier.
Come on. And is your life really easier? That's probably another show too, but is your life really easier while you're trying to get all of this stuff? Because as we know, some of the millionaires and the celebrities, many of them have died from suicide.
Yeah, that's right. So apparently money isn't the answer to everything.
No, because getting all that, you still don't have an understanding of the word and what God says, or we wouldn't be at that point of life in that, what they call in the old days with our lovely seniors, that fork in the road. You don't know which way to go.
God tells you which way to go.
If you are getting that understanding of which way to go, but if you live in to satisfy this flesh and you're bound by bondage, your bondage is you're stuck in debt. You got debt. You're struggling to make it because you're trying to keep up with somebody you can't, or you're just out there doing things. You're living paycheck to paycheck. And
because you are living above your means.
Help us.
And that takes away your freedom. That freedom that God has called us to.
Yeah. We're called to be free in liberty, and we're in bondage and trapped.
That's it.
That's where we are.
Chains on your free will.
So I think if we really look at that, sis, we have to go back to what you said in the beginning is you have to love yourself and who you are and be comfortable with that, because when you're comfortable with yourself and who you are, you find yourself more in tune, I can say, with who you really are and not in tune with who you think you are.
Right. And able to say, I don't need that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it took me a long time to get there, because I ain't gonna even lie. Every time I saw a pair of shoes, I bought that pair of shoes in however many colors they had. So we're not telling you something that, well, I'm not telling you something that I haven't experienced, because I have been in that place where I wanted a shoe, and if it came in 4 colors, I got all 4 colors. If it came in a round and a pointy, I wanted the round and the pointy. Because in my opinion then, a different shoe was for a different, you can have the same black dress, but a different shoe make that dress look different. So, but it came to a point where I had to stop feeding the flesh and start feeding the spirit. Because once I began to feed my spirit, the things that I thought I needed, I no longer need.
The Elaboration Room with 2 Sisters of One. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode every Monday at 6 p.m.